Personal story segment tonight. Are celebrities using babies as commodities? We all know about Britney Spears' two young babies, and we assume social services out here in L.A. is examining that situation. Also, the late Anna Nicole Smith, as you know, left a little baby. But the controversy tonight is over 29-year-old football player Tom Brady and his former girlfriend, 35-year-old actress Bridget Moynihan, announcing Miss Moynihan's pregnancy. The couple has split up, but apparently both are happy the baby is on the way. In the Chicago Sun-Times, a columnist named Rick Telander said, quote, Tom and his family are excited about the pregnancy. Wow. They're not excited about the mother or a possible marriage or any kind of meaningful union between copulators. The devaluation of children is the real issue, the carelessness with which they too often are brought into the world. Now, for some reason, Mr. Telander would not return our calls, but joining us now from Washington is Carrie Lukas from the Independent Women's Forum and author of the book, The Politically Incorrect Guide to Women's Sex and Feminism. All right, Ms. Lukas, this is a pretty vicious column by Telander. Responsible activity by copulators. Should society be making these kinds of judgments about people like Mr. Brady and Ms. Moynihan?
Well, I think that when it comes to this specific situation, he does seem a little bit harsh on Mr. Brady, and especially because this is a baby that's going to be coming into the world in about 6 months now. And so absolutely, it's a good thing that both the mother and the father say they're excited about the baby that's coming. But I do think he points out a larger problem and a larger trend, which is the growing problem of illegitimacy in our country. About 30 years ago, just about 1 in 10 babies in the United States was born outside of wedlock, where now that number is about 1 in 3. And that's a real problem. And I do think the extent to which celebrities provide role models, especially for young people out there, this can contribute to what's a disturbing problem.
All right, well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I agree with you 100%. I think that the rise of babies being born out of wedlock is disturbing and most of the time harmful to the babies. However, Mr. Brady and Ms. Moynihan have a lot of money. They can provide, it doesn't look like they're going to get married, and it looks like they're going to be leading separate lives, but they can provide for the child. Now, if that's the case, do other people in America have a right to say, oh, you did a bad thing?
Well, I think that there's a lot more to fatherhood than just being a paycheck. And that's one of the real problems out there is I think that, unfortunately, a lot of what we've come to define fatherhood as being sure to send your child support on time, and that means you're a good dad. When, in fact, the real important thing is how much time you spend with your child. I think that's increasingly, research suggests that the real dividing line between the haves and the have-nots isn't money. It's whether or not you have married
Right, but
parents.
again, we can't make a judgment about Mr. Brady or Ms. Moynihan's time with the child. I mean, we just can't. We don't know their circumstance. Maybe Mr. Brady will have custody of the child. Who knows? Nobody knows. But
yeah.
what this guy Telander in the Chicago Sun-Times is basically doing is he's demonizing these two. And it's interesting because when I was a kid, anybody who got pregnant, any woman who got pregnant outside of marriage was demonized by everybody in Levittown. It was a shocking thing. Now it's almost a prestige thing in some areas. That's how far the society has changed in 40 years.
Certainly, and I absolutely agree that we shouldn't be demonizing anyone who's having a baby outside of wedlock. But that said, I do think we need to try to cultivate a culture that appreciates the importance of parents staying together and just recognizing the real important role that both parents play in a child's life. And statistically speaking, it's just an absolute fact that parents who are unmarried spend less time with their child than those who are married. You think simply about location. It means that if the parents aren't together every night, that means that the child
Ms. Moynihan is an actress who lives in Los Angeles. Mr. Brady is a football player who lives in Boston. And, where's the baby going to live and who's the baby going to see? Absolutely. I mean, there's no question that these questions are valid. But it is an intrusion into the private lives of these two individuals, and a lot of Americans say it's their business. I'll give you the last word, Ms. Lukas.
Absolutely, and I do think that one of the real problems is that when you have celebrities with a lot of income, they have a much easier time acting as single parents. I mean, I hope that all the teenage girls out there who see this and see celebrities having babies on their own, they realize it's not going to be that easy.
No, it's a ticket to poverty. It's a ticket to poverty, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Ms. Lukas, thank you. When we come back from L.A., some believe the judge in the Smith case is a bizarre guy. Our judge, Napolitano, will take a look at him next.